that will see in your history of your Java. As the middle of the concepts we have, we are on discussing about why we are called using this Java and how we are using the Java. See, Java we call as your an object-oriented programming language, as we call as in your OOPS programming paradigm. We are going to be calling that. Whereas in your C++, we are discussing about the procedure oriented completely. We are taking into the procedures and we are discussing on the approach of object procedure oriented, and now from the procedure oriented it is taking the lot of time for your program evolution process. In order to that, we are coming at advanced concepts, that an advanced technique we are using for your a programming language, that is an object oriented programming approach. We are taking into the and developing some application and organizing some programming into in a sophisticated manner to make the program the programmer conveniently and to understand easily by the programmer and to the machine as well. Okay, like this, we are going to creating a number of aspects of making our structure environment of the programming for developing our the problem solving of the environment after whatever the programming problems we are arising with an existing one. From that, we are going to be eliminating the type of that programming, the procedures or the methods we call, in order to make the best structuring format. We are moving on to the new formats with some adding some extra features on that, and making that program conveniently for the programmer and well as your the compiler as well, your system, the machine to understand clearly. Okay, and these whenever we are making into the convenient manner, whenever we are taking the object oriented programming, it allows us to make our program conveniently. Why? Because in object oriented we are taking the real world entities, the real objects we are taking into the our existing problem. In previously in the procedure oriented, we are building that programming structure in sequentially and instruction wise, a flow wise. We are going to be making some functions, right, making some procedures. Okay, on that we are getting some drawbacks. In order to that, we are taking some real world entities into the existing problems and decomposing them into the real world entities, the problem which you are arising, and then building up some with the data, whatever the instructions we are associated with that, and we are adding some extra features to the data. That is, instead of your functions, we are taking the methods. The functions is nothing but we are taking the many inputs together, decomposing into the one problem, and we are getting dividing into the set of blocks. And again, after the blocks are evaluated, then again we are going to be combining them into one component. Okay, and the results we are combining together. It is taking a little bit time consuming matter. In order to that, we are taking the methods, constructors, right, to make our problem very user conveniently around these entities which we are arising. Okay, that's why we are taking this object oriented programming into our existing problem, and with the help of the methods which are associated with the real world entities, that are objects which we have, and making that a user conveniently, and we'll be going to be processing our data. That how we are going to be see, this is an object oriented paradigm which we are taking apart from the procedure oriented. Okay, that's why we need of some extra features like your methods, constructors onto that real world objects which we are taking into the existing problem, and we are going to be solving. How we are going to be solving that? By using this some OOPS concepts which we have, right? These OOPS concepts are we arising that whatever the existing problems which we are getting into our getting our designing the pages or uh, some applications developing, we are taking these OOPS concepts into the existing problem, and we are making the user conveniently. Okay, we are making the user convenient of that, and programming structure complexity we are removing. Instead of writing the structures programming thousands of the instructions, taking these real world objects. Okay, apart from that, some methods we are adding. Not only the methods, some object oriented concepts also we are adding to that, solving that our problem which we have in existing. Okay, what are those concepts? Are nothing but, first we are making that as your object. This object is the main part of our object oriented programming. As is the structured programming, what we are raising, that structured programming, the real world objects I say, whatever the real world objects we are taking into that existing. See, every object will having a behavior. Without the behavior of the particular component, we does not call this is an object. Okay, apart from the behavior, they are having some set of actions as well. Okay, if they perform according to the behavior of the object, suppose you take chalk piece. When you are taking the chalk piece as an example for your object, see, when we applied the chalk piece on the board only, see, his nature is that the nature of the chalk piece is not whenever you are taking that, his behavior is to be display some information when it is on operating, when it is performing some actions on another object, that is board we are taking as an example. Okay, when you apply that behavior object on the set of another object action, then it is going to be performing some an operation on that. That is, it is going to be displaying on that board. Okay, his nature is to be, the chalk piece nature is to be display some information when his behavior is performed on another object. That is the board. Okay, we call like that. We have a set of lot of real world objects are there like this. When these objects are not as a single object, whenever you are taking some chalk piece, it is performing an another object, that is your board. Okay, when you are combining of these two objects only, we are getting the actions, that is the behavior of each board and the chalk piece is different in nature. When they are combined only, now the set of objects are combined together, now we are solving a problem. Now this grouping of objects we call as class. Here, now a behavior is performing on set of actions with each and other, and performing and operations existingly on the board. Then whatever the, see, applying on one object mechanism on the another object, that is but some method you are applying on the object of your chalk piece with the help of the board. Okay, like this they are combining together and operating that and solving our problem to displaying some message on the board. Then that describes your classes. Now the classes can be combined as a set of methods, a set of constructors, set of variables, set of some logic statements, set of some printing statements, set of some taking the input statements, or all combined together only we call as a class. So whatever the all these concepts we call as your an instance of the objects. We are taking their mechanisms of the objects. All objects mechanisms we are taking into the existence for describing a class. Okay, we completely call as a blueprint of completely whatever the instances you're taking of an object describing a class, right? And these, apart from these object and classes, we have an inheritance concept. The third mechanism of your OOPS concept is inheritance. Now I said that methods, some constructors, some variables, some data types we are taking into the one class environment. Based on their problem definition, we are writing some program and we are solving on that, right? When that taking the single class, or we're taking the instance of the objects responsibilities, we are making as one class. If I needed the more number of methods, variables, or the methods, constructors, we have many set of methods are there, many set of problem solving solution problems we have in one class. Then that also will be getting a little bit lengthy in describing your one class environment. In order to that, inheritance mechanism is describing the one class environment into multiple classes, and they are interacting in each other. Interacting in each other. Okay. When they are interacting with each other, we call as your inheritance concept. How this is, we have an example. We go through that. Similarly, we have a polymorphism. Many forms. Polymorphism here is nothing but your many forms. Many different.
Vinay sir,
Yes, sir.
Vinay sir,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
సౌండ్ చాలా తక్కువ వస్తుంది సౌండ్.
సౌండ్ చాలా తక్కువ వస్తుందా? ఒక్క నిమిషం సార్.
గర్ల్స్ ప్లీజ్ రెస్పాండ్ వన్స్.
Nobody is telling.
Yeah, sir.
Sound is audible or not?
Yeah, sir, it's audible.
Hello. Girls, tell me.
Yeah, sir, it's audible.
Yes,
Audible
sir,
ఉంది,
it's
sir.
audible.
Okay. Continue, sir. Vinay sir, continue.
Yeah, okay, sir. Okay, sir. Like this, we are going to be on discussion of your polymorphism. Okay, the polymorphism is nothing but your many forms, many methods, many constructors you are describing for the classes. Okay, then whatever that many methods you are describing, but you are combining into one class environment. Okay, that is called your polymorphism. We have a best description also on this polymorphism. Like this, we have an abstraction. Okay, for one for many problems, many logics you are writing in one class environment, but your many logics you are writing, to that we are naming with your one class name. Okay, that describes your the class names as your abstraction you are writing for your many methods or your many logics you are writing. Okay, we have a small example, so we will discuss. Okay, similar like your encapsulation is nothing but your binding by hiding some relevant data, unrelevant data you are binding it, but the mechanism you are using in the classes, that is nothing but your means nothing but your wrapping of your data. See, when you're combined with your data with the code only, then you can solve one problem. Like this, your some type of your data you are hiding, but you are using on that. This we call that as wrapping of some data onto the code. It's nothing but your encapsulation. We'll see each and every example for this OOPS concept. Similarly, for the object, we said that we have an entity. See, in real world we have many type of your entities, but your each entity will be have some behavior. Based on their behavior only, we are utilizing that object onto our problem solution. Okay, whatever the problem we arise, based on that problem only, we are taking that particular object into the existing for our solution in your programming structured environment. Okay, that is called the behavior which is responsible on the particular mechanism we call as your object. Like this, we have many examples like the chair, pen, table, okay, keyboard, like your bike, etc. It can be a physical or it can be a logical event. Based on our mechanism of our solving our problem which we arise in your programming, okay, the particular entity, the particular object we are taking into the existing. Okay, like this. Your table will be having your fan, your bike, your pen, your keyboard. Each will be having their own responsibility on their behavior. Okay, if I want to be moved from one place to another place, I need some mechanism to travel. For that, I can take the bike. Okay, I want to display some matter on the paper. Then I taken the pen. The pen responsibility, the behavior of the pen is to write something on the paper. Okay, based on their mechanism, I'm utilizing. When I want to be write something on the paper, then I take a pen, help of a pen, I can able to write on the paper. If I want to be, that is physically I'm writing. If I want to be logically, I want to write onto that printing on the paper. Okay, then I take the help of the keyboard by pressing the keys. Okay, typing some information on the keystroke of your keyboard. Based on that, it is going to be giving the inputs to your system and display on the monitor. When I want to be print on the paper, then I take the another component, that is printer. Based on their that responsibility of the paper is printer is nothing but to print whatever the matter you displayed on the screen. By taking the help of the keyboard, you are pressing the keystroke. It's going to typing some information on the display. Then that is going to be, if I want to give some command, see, based on the commands, based on the states, that whatever the commands I am giving, based on their behavior, it is going giving the responsibility of their mechanism which is the printer is having to print the matter on the paper. I'm inserting some paper, I'm pressing on some command, the print, then it is going to be printing that data onto the paper with the help of the printer. Like if I want to be any air, intentionally I am asking to the air. Okay, I'm switching on the fan, okay, on the plug, which is associated again to the through the wire. It is connected to the fan. Okay, when I have some mechanism on that, when I press the on, the fan is going to be rotating and giving that air to me, right? Based on their responsibility, based on their behavior. If a programmer is needed that behavior, then it is going to be accessing that object onto the problem solution. Like the chair, if I want to be work on something, I want to be work, I need some place to keep on the top of that based on my height. Okay, then I take the chair as an example and keeping it on the my laptop or my phone on that particular table, I can access it. Okay, like this behavior is to be keeping some height, I need to be work on that. Then I'm taking the table on my as an object, I am taking and utilizing it. Okay, like that, this is one of the object. Like this, many objects combined together, we call as your class. But how we are using the classes? Okay, not the collection of the related objects. Okay, now it is in a logical entity. Logically, we are writing a variables with the data types, with some commands, and grouping some objects to that data types as a variable. We are calling that object as the logically we are taking as your variable A, variable B, or your variable C, or your object keyboard I am taking, and object mouse I am taking. Based on their behavior, I am taking collecting some objects together. Okay, like this, the methods, functions, variables, or the constructors. Okay, I'm grouping together and writing a logic on that and closing the bracket, and I'm compiling and I'm executing, then I can get a sophisticated result as your output. Okay, like this. See the group of objects. Now class, when you see the class, is nothing but I am taking an example of a person. A person is nothing but an classing. What is a person is having? Some data members is having. Nothing but what type of an objects you are taking, as we call as your data members. Okay, a person is having an unique ID to identify him whether is a person or not. Okay, based on their unique ID, I am writing that their name, what is the age of a person, and in which place he is going to be residing. Okay, and he is a person of the male or female, the gender we are taking. Okay, and what that person is going to be do and does, right? What mechanisms he is having. Okay, some mechanism, more mechanisms will be having the person when is do some works, but in some I am taking some methods. As your a person when it is hungry is going to be taking the eat method, then in that I am writing that the e type of the messages I am writing. Okay, like the a person is want to be read some material or read some news or read some subject on a particular concept, then I taken that person is having some using some method, that is study method. In this I am writing some statements, how is going to be writing and how is going to be reading, what subject is going to be reading, what material is going to be reading. Okay, that I am mentioning on the study method. And another sleep method, when it is getting in a rest, right, and particular time he wants to rest, then I'm writing that at what time he is going to be onto the sleep method. That type of statements I can write at the sleep method. Okay, play, exercise, like this many methods you can take it. In that I'm some methods I'm taking. In that methods I'm writing the responsibility of a particular person who is going to be performing this type of a methods in his daily activities. Okay, like this, these are the methods which I am taking, right? And in that methods I am accessing these data members which is the person is having. See, when a unique ID is there on a particular person name, I can write it with your John. As you're printing, that particular John is going to be performing the study method, and which time is going to be study. John is studying on the particular time. John is going to be particularly time he is going to be play, and John is going to be work method when I am taking on the particular time, this time to this time, morning 9 to and evening 5 is going to be performing the work method. In the work, whatever that is job he is doing, that statements I can write on the work method. Okay, like this is age, what is a particular person of your age, which is you are selling that John, the 35, in which city is staying, the Delhi, is gender male or female. Okay, these are the statements I am going to be expecting that on the output. Then I can take the particular methods based on is that data members which I mentioned, and then I am grouping that set of objects together. Now these set of objects are nothing but your data members which I am taking, and I am mentioning that a class is nothing but your I am writing with a person. Clear? This is about a complete picture of your class, how you are writing, your syntax of your class, how we are writing a program in your taking the class as your person name and writing the data members and associated with some specific methods to accessing on that, and we are giving a sophisticated result of a particular person as an outcome. Clear? This is about your class, which is you are taking the help of your objects as your data members. Combine the together of your data members and the methods associated together, you are making as your person, as your class. Okay. Now, inheritance. A grouping of whatever we are previously we have seen. Grouping of these different class environments, which is having interconnected to one each other, we call as your inheritance. Okay, means one class objects which is having the properties and their behaviors acquiring into the next class environment. One time we are declaring, but we are doing many times usage. One time declaration, many time usage. In one class we are declared some variables, some real world entities that we are going to be using in your number of the classes which are associated to that single program with your multiple class environment as your parent class and the number of child classes. Okay, in the communication of parent and child, this inheritance will be used. Okay, in the parent, whatever your objects you are declared, their objects, properties, and behaviors we are going to be using in your child classes. This is nothing but we call as your inheritance. Then we call this concept as your code reusability. Okay, these whatever the codes you are going to be reusability onto that compiling your all statements in your parent child class which you are described. These achievement can be we can call as your runtime polymorphism. Okay, as your many forms I said that combined together, right? Many variables were combined together and utilized in your different procedures. These we can achieve at your runtime polymorphism we call as. Okay, when you see the best example is nothing but one object we are described and we are taking their behavior into the child classes. Like that, if I am taking a person, now speak, a person is going to be speaking, right? We will describe the person at your parent class, but the description of the person we are going to be writing in your child classes. Right? He is going to be speaking, he is going to be eating, he is going to be sleeping, right? We are taking some separate child classes. In that we are writing the methods, right? Previously we have seen in the classes at your eat method, sleep method, study method, right? Like this, the methods we are going to be describing in multiple subclasses environments. Okay, and in the parent class we are taking with the new object creation of that parent class name, and we are calling the whatever the methods you are describing in the subchilds. Okay, that we are deriving in the main class, and we are printing the statement as your output. Similarly, if I am taking the animal, the same animal, in the animal we have a different animals will be there, different category of the animals will be there. Okay, mammals, birds, okay, like that different category of the animals will be there. Based on their category of the animals, based on their behavior of that particular animal, right? This animal is going to be bark like this. If I am taking the barking, see, the dog is going to be barking as your bow bow. Similarly, we've seen the examples previously at the time of your describing your inheritance concepts. Okay, here I am taking the category of the animal. I am taking the wolf, and cock is going to be barking like, and cat is going to be barking like your meow. Okay, based on their responsibilities, behaviors, we are writing their methods and their particular class name. We are going to be deriving from your superclass to the subclass and subclass to the derived class. Then we are writing the main class and calling the all classes environments and printing in your output. This is your inheritance. Clear? Everybody is clear about inheritance, object, classes, and inheritances? Yes, ma. Similarly, we have a polymorphism. They said that which is acquiring the one mechanism we can perform in different ways. Collecting the different types of mechanisms together and performing in different ways. See, best example is I am taking the shape where you can see down. I'm taking the one class name, I am taking the shape. So that we have different variations. What is the shape of a circle? What is the shape of a triangle? What is the shape of a rectangle? But to that I am kept some method as your area, right? Based on that type of the circle. Okay, is a circle, area is how much? Okay, area of a triangle is, and area of a rectangle is, and combining together in your area method in different ways. I am collected different mechanisms of the circle, triangle, and rectangular shapes and performing in the area method. Okay, the problem I am identified and performing in different variations. Now I can call these as your inheritance concepts also. Now our super class is your shape class, or subclasses are circle class, triangle class, and rectangular class. Different methods. Okay, I am performing and calling into the again to the parent class. This is also one of the example of your inheritance. Okay, at this time of see, at this time of whenever you are taking the same method calling into the multiple classes environments, when you're taking the class environment, as I said, your inheritance, when you're applying that on the inheritance is the polymorphism mechanism. Okay, we may sometimes the same type of values you are taken into the existence, we may get your overloading concept. Area method we are calling into the from subclasses to the main class. Okay, and overriding will also be performed. Okay, these overloading and overriding can be removed by using this polymorphism mechanism. Getting my point? How it is going to be removing is nothing but by changing their specific data types and the increasing the number of the variables, we can overcome this overloading and overriding. Overloading is nothing but your when same variables you are describing for the one class environment and again the same variables we are using in the another class environments, then two classes we are calling into the super class, that is your main class. Then onto the particular overriding can be occurred. Okay, by changing the data type and by changing the increasing the number of variables to the second class environment and combining together, we can overcome this override. Overloading is nothing but your when you kept a fixed number of variables for the particular class environment, right? And we are increasing that variables in the another subclass. In your circle, in your shape, you are kept it some variables as 4 variables, but in your circle you are taking the 4 variables, and in your triangle you are taking the 6 variables, and the rectangle you are taking the 10 variables. Then apart from the storage content, you are writing the extra variables on that, then overloading can be arising. Clear? This overloading can be also removed by using their changing the data type. and increasing the number of variables in the superclasses, we can overcome. These mechanisms can be achieved by using your polymorphism. Clear? This is about your a complete picture of your polymorphism. Any doubts, ma? Regarding your polymorphism? So clear about that. Already we done we are going to be each concept we are going to be performing after the first unit we are starting, we are working on that. Every concept we have a associated programs are there. Again, we will discuss the same type of the concept and on applying onto the programming from your first unit onwards only. After the basics concepts are completed, we are working on the program concepts also. Okay. Next one is abstraction. Now, what is meant by abstraction? Abstraction is nothing but an overall overview. Overall overview. See, hiding an internal details and showing only the functionality is nothing but your abstraction. Is nothing but if I am telling that this is my phone. Okay, when we are seeing the phone, we can say overview. We can say that it is a phone, but internally that is containing the many processes, many functionalities will be having. Making a call, right? Sending a messages, opening an applications, okay, browsing an internet, like this many operations functionalities will be there, but only an outer overview we are telling that it is a phone. Similarly, when you take that one of the concept of the phone, that is phone call, we know that internally processing, we just make a call by typing the number, another person is going to be lifting the call and making conversations between one and each other, but internally what process is happening, the person who make a call, he does not know. Whenever you are making a call with your particular number, you are typing on the keypad, taking that, opening your phone call, then you are pressing the numbers and typing on that, you are going to be dialing on that. Okay, whenever you are dialing, your signals, whatever you are sending, the number associated signals will be sent to the mobile tower, then to the substation. It is going to be demodulate your numbers into your digits formats into your zeros and ones again. Then zeros and ones again into the converted into the waveforms, into the signals format, to the another sub tower, from the sub tower to the another main tower, to the near associated to the where the location of the particular receiver mobile number is going to be associated with that. Then to their nearby tower, their substation, the signal is going to be receiving. From that again demodulate again to their mobile number. Then again the signals are moving from tower to their mobile. Then the person is going to be getting some signals and is going to be receiving the call information. Then based on your call information is going to be attempt the call and make a conversation. Whenever you are talking with each other, the mutually the signals are going to be modulating and demodulating. Like this much process is going to be happen in the internal, but externally you make a call and you are lifting the opponent phone call and making conversation. Like this, the making a phone call is nothing but an abstraction, hiding some internal details. The internal details many cannot be known what is happening inside. Okay, like this, we have using these abstractions in the interface mechanisms and taking the multiple class environments, how we are interacting with your class to the interface and interface to the interface, how we are implementing, how we are extending multiple classes, similar like your inheritance concept. See, you are writing your multiple classes in the inheritance. Getting my point? Inheritance, you are writing multiple class environments, superclass, subclass, and base class, derived class, like this main classes. So many classes environments you are writing. but overall you are performing the operation in the main class. Okay, that is you are performing the operation on the superclass environment, which is having the main method. Now the main method which is associated in the superclass will describing the name we are calling into the execution time. We are not calling the subclass name or the base class name or the derived class name. We are calling the superclass name, which is having the main method. The main method associated the class name which we are calling at the time of execution. The superclass name is nothing but your abstract class we are going to be calling. Clear? At the interfaces also, we are writing the multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance, we are writing that many interfaces are implementing from one interface to another interface. But the two interfaces are implementing in the superclass. Okay, that class name only we are writing in the execution time. We are not writing the interface name. We are writing the class name. Okay, at the time of interfaces, we are seeing the multiple inheritance. The multiple inheritance is the best example for your abstract class. Right? We already seen some example of writing the two interfaces, which is showable, printable. Recall it. Printable and showable. We are done two interfaces. There are two interfaces again we are implementing into superclass. That superclass name we are writing at the execution time. Then that class name is nothing but your abstract class. Okay, this can only, the multiple inheritance, this can only achieved by using your abstraction mechanism. Clear regarding your abstraction, right? Like this, this is the best example for your abstraction mechanism, right? An owner, a communication between the owner and the owner registration and the garage. Okay, the owner of a particular car is having the car description, the service history, and petrol mileage history. Now this, when is going to be, now this is the owner is nothing but your superclass. Now your subclasses are nothing but your registration and the garage. When he wants to be onto the service after buying your first car, then needs to give the registration details and then needs to give the garage to the particular details of the particular car owner. Now owner is nothing but your superclass and registration is a subclass and garage is a subclass. Now owner of your particular car will becomes nothing but your an abstraction we are giving to the environment. Okay, the registration of the particular vehicle, describing your vehicle identification number, license plate, and the current owner who is, whether is having the tax due on the particular date, is under the registration. We are giving the some variables and their details. Like this garage will check with your license plate, the work description, what is the work they need to do, and after completing the work, the billing information they need to give onto the service they are provided, and owner who is the owner on the particular car, they are going to be describing on the particular bill informations they are going to be identified. Okay, now these are the internal description of the particular car. Now car, when you are saying overview, it is having, we can only able to see that it is a car, but internally when you are going to be saying that, some details will be there. The owner of the particular car is having some details, the garage details will be there, registration details will be there. Now this mechanism which we are associating, these are all the details which we are interfacing one name with your another name. The registration and garage are the two we call as your interfaces, and the superclasses we call as your owner. They are associated. Interfaces are the registration garage. They are interfacing which one is there, which is described from your owner details. This achieved your multiple inheritance as we are an abstraction. Clear? These are all and a brief overview description of your OOPS concepts, which is your class, sorry, objects, class. Come on, tell me, what are the objects, class, next,
Inheritance.
inheritance, next, encapsulation,
Polymorphism.
polymorphism,
Abstraction.
abstraction. Like this, every concept of your object oriented programming we are utilizing in our Java. Okay, without these mechanisms we cannot work on the particular concepts of your object oriented programming. Clear about that? Up to your done upload 2.5 units you are seeing the programs. Okay, based on each concept of your OOPS concepts we are writing the programs. I think now you have got a clear picture about your how we are writing the programs. Clear, ma? Everyone. That's why I said that revision will help in your whatever the programs we are earlierly we discussed up to your 2.5 units. When you see the real world entity of your object, whatever the object you are taking for your each concept of your OOP, object oriented programming system, then we can write the programs easily. When you identify our problem, do that problem, what object we are taking into the existence, and how to derive that particular programming environment can easily successful. Clear? Next, encapsulation. Nothing but your, I said that the code that is associated, whatever the object you are taking, based on that object we are going to be writing the code. Okay, the binding with that object, the code we are writing together unit we call as your encapsulation. Okay, the mainly the class is the best example. Whatever the class program you are writing is the best example for your encapsulation. How? See the picture. I said that the classes of a particular person will be having some variables and the methods. The variables, whatever the data members which are associated and working on the particular methods, then we combined, we call as your class. That is we got as your encapsulating. And you can see the best example, your capsule will be having your blue color completely filled with that some chemical, and down you can have your small balls like your another particles of your chemicals which are associated. Then only the two drugs when you are combined together only the particular medicine is prepared. Like that, whatever the small particles, round color particles which you are observing, we call as your variables, like your data members, like your person unique ID when you are identifying name, age, which city is staying, right? And what is the role of a particular person. Like this, when you are going on describing some object responsibilities, it all comes under those variables. And whatever that mechanism they are performing, whatever the messages they are giving onto the real world life, like your sleep method, okay, work method, study method, eat method, that all are together based on these data members which are associating on the particular methods, we call as your class. Okay, that's why a completely class environment we call as your encapsulation by adding some data members and associated on them. Okay, when you perform your your application is there, your NetBeans application is there, which we are working the same one application will be there, your NetBeans application, that is your in the same. See, basically we are working the Java programs to work on. You are taking the notepad and you are taking the command prompt for your executing that, isn't it? When you're taking your online GDP, you are writing in one application, the programs in one place, and whenever you are clicking on the run command, you are getting the result at your last. In one command, in one environment, one application, you are running your Java program instead of taking the basic version. Similarly, we have a Java Beans is there. All your data members and your the commands associated your Java C and your Java execution were working in your one place. Right? This is about your encapsulation. Clear? Based on these all concepts only, we are going to be writing the object-oriented programming system we are going to be generating. Right? Next, a view of world or agents we'll see in your next class. Right? Up to we are learn about your all OOPS concepts. If you are aware of these OOPS concepts clearly and what example we are taking, how we are working these concepts on the programming environment, then you can successfully write your Java programs which conveniently. Clear? Still anybody is having doubts regarding these OOPS concepts? Yes, ma. And based on the scopes concept, what are their responsibilities, how the messages are going to be transmitting from your one concept to another concepts, and how we are accessing these data members to your methods which we are utilizing in the programming environment. That is how we are taking the way these entities are viewing in the real world and their responsibilities and message communication. Okay, we have a next concepts that we'll see in your next class. Okay, so I am winding up the class. If you are having your doubts, please revise your programs which you have already discussed on the particular each concept, then you are clearly understand it. Right? Shall I wind up the class? And please do the assignments on time mark. And some are doing their assignments, they are not putting their rule numbers, their names, not in the correct manner. Okay, please mention a proper manner which I said in the Saturday class. Same like that only, mention your complete roll number followed by your name and submit your assignments. Chalo, thank you, ma'am. This is the next class.
DBMS, sir.
DBMS.
Yeah, okay.